Welcome back to Believe in Mavs. I'm your host, Alexander Tassopoulos, and I am super excited to be welcoming our new co-host, former Mavs player, former NBA vet, Raymond Felton. Raymond, what's up, man?
Man, not much, man. Just trying to enjoy some of this good weather out here, but it's kind of cold. But I'm good though.
What's the status with the Texas weather right now?
Man, listen, you look outside and you think it's 100 degrees, and when you go out there, it's 35 to 40. So, don't let that sunshine fool you. Better put a coat on.
That's why I moved to California, man.
Oh man, I know you living the life down there. You living the life.
Yeah, I feel like I'm constantly on a vacation, constantly on an all-star break, if you will. Obviously, the NBA all-star break going on right now. First thing I want to ask you, what was your go-to routine during the all-star break? Like, what did you go back to South Carolina? Did you go to the game? I think, when you were playing with the Knicks, you should have been in the game, let's be
I
honest.
appreciate it. I appreciate that.
But yeah, what was your normal routine during that time?
Um, the only time I ever go if I'm participating in anything, I played in the Rising Stars game.
Yep.
So, I went during that period. But outside of that, I didn't really go to All Star Weekend. I took that time to go see my family.
Yeah.
Like you said, I go back down to South Carolina for like 2 days, and then I go hit a vacation somewhere just to get away, relax, enjoy myself. And then those last 2 days kind of just go hard in the gym, working out,
Okay.
can just kind of keeping myself, ready to play, so
But it's like you only have like a week, right? So it's like,
right.
how much can you
It was
really?
shorter. Sometimes it was shorter back
Right. I
then.
feel like this is longer than normal.
Way longer. Yeah, they get way longer now, which is good, which is what they should do, which is
Yeah.
what they would wish I wish they would have did that back then. But yeah, so I really just took time to really go see family, and just go to some like little high school games and things like that
Yeah.
that I didn't have a chance to go do and I didn't have the time for. So that's really it. That's
Did you
really it,
see?
man.
Did you see what Lucas said just about Sunday night? He'll play in the game, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and then he said he's headed to Mexico. So, what are your thoughts on that? We obviously don't know what he's going to do in Mexico. Like, we don't know his
Right,
agenda.
right,
Could be one of two things. Could be resting, relaxing on the beach.
right,
Could be resting, relaxing on the beach, and drinking and eating
right.
whatever he wants. So, what do you think about that?
Whatever you do, just make sure you just get away from the game for a little bit, relax your
Yeah.
mind, just enjoy your time with friends, family, whoever he's going with. Just get away from the game for a while. Enjoy yourself. Whatever it is you do, whatever your advice is, just go have fun and get away from it a little bit. I don't know if I would have told people where I was going. I
I
don't know
think
if I would
that's
have told that part of it, but
right. That's the thing, right? It's like once you say Mexico and
yeah,
you're Luca, like people
yeah.
are going to run away with what they're going to think about it.
Yeah, you're gonna run away with it. Then on top of that, if you got some real big fans, some people might even try to pull up,
That's a great point.
that part of it too. So, Luca being that high level type of player, I don't know if I would have said I was going to Mexico, even though, it's still gonna be hard to get to Luca
Yeah.
if you come to Mexico, but still, some things you should keep private, but that's
Right.
that's
As
how
long
some of
as
these youngsters do now though.
right, as long as when you say you're going to Mexico, you don't say I'm going to Cancun because we know what
There
that
you
means,
go.
right? We know that
Yeah.
that means that you just lost in the playoffs, and that's the first destination that everybody goes to after. So we were before we hopped on, we were talking about that you got to watch in person that first game at home
Right.
with Kyrie and Luka playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it didn't go their way. There was the kind of debacle at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Last possession, they had a chance to tie it down three. Tough inbounds pass. I think that had a lot to do with just like what was drawn up. Obviously, everything gets thrown in disarray when the
Mm-hmm.
inbounds pass ends up in the backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luka and Kyrie like deferring to each other. And obviously, ESPN, all the big media outlets had a lot of fun with that one the next day. But what did you see from the two of these guys playing together in their short time? They're 0-3, but are you worried that things aren't working as they should? Because in my mind, like it seemed like everything was going according to plan. I mean, these guys have to get used to each other's play style, especially Luka with Kyrie. I think what I saw, and I love to get your take on this, but like Kyrie has no problem playing with another guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it multiple times in
There
his
you go.
career with
There
LeBron
you go.
James, with Kevin Durant.
Right.
He picks his spots, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe for him, my thing would be maybe you have to pick your spots a little bit more. You can't be quite as hesitant. Although that that fourth quarter, he went God mode. Like that was unbelievable. Like I can't even.
Right.
It's been a long time since I've seen a guy put up a quarter stat like that.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson is the guy that comes to mind, right? Like Kyrie almost had 30 points in this quarter. He was fantastic in the fourth.
No question. And like I said, I got the chance to see that live. And what I think, to me, the biggest thing with those guys is they really just gotta stop deferring to each other and just play. And like
Yeah.
you say, more so Luka than Kyrie, because Kyrie's played with KD and James. He's played with LeBron. I mean, he's played with guys already that, he understands that I got to share the ball with these guys in order to win, and this guy can put up buckets just like I can. So
Yeah.
Kyrie has done this before. So Luka got to get an understanding that look, I don't have to defer to this guy because this guy is going to get his no matter what. He has to put that in his head. He hasn't played with a guy with this caliber yet. So outside of Dirk, but Dirk was at the end of his career.
Right.
So you know so playing with a Kyrie, you got to understand Kyrie's been here. So do your thing, Luka. Be who you are. Because
Right.
Kyrie going to get his. And, when you got situations where you see a Kyrie gets hot like that and you do what he did, then you defer the ball.
Right.
Because now this guy, you can sit back and get your rest.
Yeah.
So because when he gets tired, now you take over.
But I don't even think Luka missed a shot in the fourth quarter. I think he took 3 or 4. Like he hit a couple of spot up threes, and then a couple of times he got a weak side rotation and he attacked and drove, and he had a wide open lane. Like,
so imagine how dangerous they're going to be when he can sit and relax for 8 minutes on the court and let Kyrie do his thing. And then now Kyrie gets tired. Now you got to deal with me. Now you got to deal with Luka, who hasn't been doing this all game. Now he's got a lot of energy for this fourth quarter, and he got his legs. So I think overall it's going to be dangerous. And then now that last play that happened, you got two guys who now you take the shot. Now you take the shot. Now you take the last shot. So they just got to understand is who's the hot guy this night.
Right.
If it was Luka night and Kyrie, you let Luka take the last shot. Now, if he gets double teamed and somebody be stupid enough to leave one of y'all open, then okay, you make the right pass in that situation, and then now you got to take that shot because I know you're a type of player that can hit those type of shots. You can hit game-winning shots.
So and you saw in that moment that they didn't double team him. They played him straight up.
Yeah. And they kept just deferring to each other of who's going to take this last shot. But Kyrie, you should have took the shot. You was the hot man.
Yeah.
And granted, Luka didn't miss no shots, but use the guy who's been hot all game. You got the momentum. So we're going to live with you.
There's not missing shots in the fourth quarter, and then there's what Kyrie did in that game. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So
I tweeted this, and as a guy who played high school basketball, so take that as you will. There was one possession where he was already in the rhythm. I mean, he jumped straight into the rhythm as soon as that fourth quarter started.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been off of a steal, but he went full sprint into the pull-up three.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And I was like, people don't understand that might be the hardest thing in basketball to do.
One of the most difficult shots you can take.
The body control that takes is unbelievable. And Kyrie, obviously, like we know he's so good at finishing around the cup with both hands. Like people say he's one of the best finishers of all time. I believe that. One of the best ball handlers of all time. But to start and stop and hit a three like that, like I was just like, oh my gosh, if this goes in, he's not missing another shot this game. And so there, even more to your point, like go ahead, take that shot. And the one difference between the two guys who've both made so many clutch shots in their careers already, in Luka's short career, is that Luka's 6'8", right? So he can get that shot over guys in a way that Kyrie has to get a little bit more separation to get that shot off. So I think there's always that decision in there. But if people decide to double, like if they double Luka and he's got Kyrie on the wing, like we saw what Spencer did when he did last year against that game in Brooklyn for Dallas, and he hit that buzzer beater.
Yeah,
Kyrie's going to hit that every single time. Not every time, but he's going to hit that more than not.
You're going to like your percentages,
for sure.
Kyrie taking that shot. And they're going to figure it out. Jay Kidd is a great coach, and he's going to do a great job of helping those guys to learn how to play with each other and be themselves while they're playing with each other. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think having those, when you got two dangerous guards like that, you always going to give yourself a chance to win games. I think it's just all about, who's going to be that third person though.
Right.
Who's going to be that third person to like offset the things they do? Is it going to be Christian Woods? Is it going to be Tim Hardaway? Is it going
Yeah,
to
I think
be, or is it going to be all of them? Is it going to be Christian, Tim, Reggie Bullock, Josh Green? Like,
right.
is it going to be all these guys that's going to be a mixture of just getting 12 points, 15, whatever it is to offset those two guys getting 25 plus a night? Who's going to be that third person? Or is it going to be a morale of all four or all five, like whoever? Like, they definitely going to need somebody else outside of themselves because every given night people are going to come in like these two guys are going to get theirs, or we're going to stop one of these guys, or we're going to, because it's hard to double team.
Right.
Both of them can pass, and both of them are willing passers, but both of them still want to score the ball.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how these other guys
Yeah,
how these
which
other guys play with them. That's the part. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Them
right.
playing together, I'm not worried about it because you got two guys who really know the game and who can really play, and they both, for what I've seen, can be willing passers. So I'm not really worrying about them two. What can everybody else do around them? That's going to be key for me.
Yeah.
That's going to determine like how far they can go.
So do you think, because once you get to the playoffs, and I know this team is in they're the seventh seed right now in the Western Conference, so they'd be in the playing game right now.
Mm-hmm.
I expect this team to be a top 6 seed. I think they should have that expectation for themselves with a duo like Kyrie and Luka. If they are in a playoff series, you talk about like how the rotation gets cut short, right? Your 8 through 15 typically don't play, depending on who the team is. I mean, that Warriors team last year was quite deep. That Celtics team last year that also made the finals was also very deep. But I look at, Maxi Kleber coming back, him being healthy, Luka, Kyrie, Timmy, Christian Wood, Josh Green, Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber, Reggie Bullock, and then so that's 8 guys right there.
8 or 9.
That's 8 or 9 guys, and then like Holiday, who they just signed, right? He was a buyout guy, but he was only playing 15 minutes a game in Washington. But obviously he's a 3-and-D guy. And then you've got like Jaden Hardy, but you don't expect much from him as a rookie, although he's shown great flashes, but you're not going to put him in positions where
in the playoff game, you gotta losing Dorian Finney-Smith was big.
Right.
But obviously when you get a guy like Kyrie, you're going to give up something. And unfortunately, you gave up 2 good players, one of them being your best defender. So who's going to fill that spot? And I feel like Josh Green or Reggie Bullock, those guys, one of those guys need to step up to be that guy. Like somebody gotta not think offensively. Somebody gotta put in their head that, look, I'm gonna be able to knock down open threes, but my every night is I'm gonna stop whoever the opposing guy is. I'm gonna make it hard for them. Even if you can't stop them, it's hard to stop guys in this league.
right.
It's just too talented. And when you're a guy who's a scorer for a team, you got the green light. So hard to stop somebody who has a green light. But with that being said, somebody needs to be like Dorian Finney-Smith every night. Just a hard worker, getting you grind. I'm going to make it tough for you every night, defensive guy. And I think Reggie and Josh, those 2 guys need to step up and do that. I feel like Josh has shown that, okay, I can score a little bit. I can do some things.
Yeah.
You've shown the Mavs that. Now show them that now that I'm playing with these 2 guys, I'm going to be that guy to say, okay, I'm going to be the defensive stopper on this team. I'm going to be the guy that's going to harass people every night. That way you solidify you a spot. And a lot of guys don't understand that in this league. Everybody feeling like it's all about scoring. You show when you can score when guys go out. And Josh did that in Utah when Luka and a couple of guys was out.
Yeah, when he and Hardy both had 29 points or whatever it was.
Yeah, big game, and they didn't think they was going to win. They come out, they beat Utah in Utah, and that's when you show that, okay, I can do this too. But for this team, this is the role I'm gonna play. That alone gets you paid. That alone keeps you on a team that's really good, and it gives you a role. So I don't know. I wish guys will understand that a little bit more. Rather than, and I get it.
It's tough when you're not
to get paid.
Everybody wants to get paid, like,
so I get that.
It's tough too when like you're talking about you got to be ready, but when 2 guys have the ball the entire time, like if you're Reggie, like
that's tough
to be a field shooter like that in the corner and hit at a 37+% clip, like when you haven't touched the ball for 5 straight possessions, like
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
that's
more.
really that's really difficult. Both those guys are going to have to step up defensively just to guard whoever is the best wing. I mean, you look at other teams in the West, like you look at what MPJ did against the Mavs the other night. He had a pretty good game. You look at, the Clippers who are in the top 6 seeds right now. They've got 2 wings that are awesome. There's guys that are going to put pressure on our wings. What do you say to like Mavs Twitter talking about Luka's defense? What do you think about his defense as a player? And obviously, like this coming on the heels of Jay Kidd, who you mentioned earlier, saying in a post game presser, like this team is not built to play defense. Like, look, we're gonna have to try and outscore people, which is a complete 180 of last year's team, who was second in defensive rating in the league behind the Celtics. So their identity changed very, very quickly. But what do you think of Luka as a defender?
I think Luka is capable,
Yeah,
and I think he shows in spurts sometimes that he can guard somebody.
right.
He's good at anticipating passes and getting steals. Um, but overall, like he's no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard.
Of course, of
He's
course.
no Dorian Finney-Smith. Like he's not one of those type of scoring guys, and they can play defense too. Um, I think overall, with a guy like that can score the ball and do the things he needs to do for his team on a night, that all he needs to do is play position defense. He needs to make sure he's in the right spot when it's time to rotate. When
Yeah,
we playing like team defense, as long as he's good at that, then we can deal with that. You can deal with it as a team, and as a teammate, you can deal with a guy like that. But if you're just a guy that just don't play, that don't try at all, then that's when the problems kick in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I don't necessarily see that. Sometimes,
I
I
think he's been
mean,
pretty good lately about just the effort on the
yeah,
defensive
that's what I'm
side.
saying. Like, so
Yeah,
if you're giving me an effort, you can deal with that. Like, I can deal with that. I can deal with my franchise player giving me effort, knowing that, okay, he's not a great defender, but
right.
he's giving me effort to play defense. I can deal with that. As a coach
Yeah,
and as a player, him being my teammate, I can deal with that. Yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so do you? I mentioned Justin Holiday. Do you think like Kevin Love just got bought out by the Cavs?
Mm-hmm.
We had LaMarcus Aldridge had a tryout with the Mavs on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you think like there's another piece that this team needs to go get? And obviously, the only way they can do that is in the buyout market.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about the wings, but like to me, the glaring hole on the defense right now is our bigs,
Mm-hmm.
and that the rim protection simply isn't there. I mean, the Timberwolves I think went 21 for 21 in that game in the paint, or no, maybe it was the Nuggets in the next game, but the Timberwolves also worked us in the paint, like, and they didn't even have Karl Anthony Towns out there, but Rudy Gobert was perfect from the field. He didn't miss a bucket, and that's because we had a lack of rim pressure and protection, and
I like
obviously,
I
yeah,
like to see JaVale out there more. I would
yeah,
like to see him out there more. Dwight gives you the energy. He's going to roll hard. He's a better player for their offense.
yeah. You played with
Just
Dwight, right?
yeah. I played
Early,
JaVale too.
you played with
Um,
both, yeah,
yeah, I played with the JaVale too. So I think for defense, JaVale is better because he's taller, he's long, he's a shot blocker.
right.
But
It's tough because
offensively,
you can't have him out there at the same time though. It's
nah, no way.
right.
No
You don't
way.
have enough
But
shooting. Yeah,
you can play him and Christian together.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to one of my boys about this. It's like you got guys like Derek Favors that's still out there. I don't know what he's
yeah.
been doing. I don't know if he's in shape. I don't know. I haven't heard his name from nobody. I haven't heard his name about anything. So I don't know what his status is. But you got a guy like that he's a rim protector. He still got a little
I
a
mean,
little
talk about
youth,
like
a little
back
youth to him.
back in the day,
Like
a beast on the boards, one of the best
yeah,
rebounders I've seen. Also,
that's what I'm saying.
I think he was top 5 in steals as a big man one year, which is like,
That's what I'm saying. So you got a guy that can play defense and he's an offensive threat as
yeah,
well. Because he's a guy that can finish, he can roll, he can catch lobs, like he can do multiple things. So and I haven't seen him with nobody. So I don't know. I don't know his status. I
sure,
don't know where he's at, but he's a guy that I would definitely like bring up to like, hey man, what's up, Derek Favors? Like I
yeah,
like LaMarcus Aldridge. I play with LA and Portland. Great scorer, he's from here. He's from Texas.
right. I'm a Longhorn. I
Um,
love LA. He's great.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's great. So
legend.
if you can get a guy like that, but is that going to solve your issues? With
Right.
the
He's not
LA.
playing more than 20 minutes in a playoff game.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, is that going to solve your issues with the LA today? I don't know. And now LA back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, of
sign him,
course.
sign him today. Like bring him in right now. That's my guy right there. Like he's a game, like a team changer, like a franchise changer.
Yeah.
You bringing him in with Luka and Kyrie, you talking about the big three. It's another big three in the league again. So, but but what you need right now, you need like you say, a defensive presence at that 5 spot. Bringing Maxi back, but Maxi, let's be honest, is really just a 4.
Hmm.
He's not a 5. He's not big enough to be a 5 to me.
Right. He's more like
But
a weak side rim protector as opposed to
yeah,
a guy that's actually going to like
block
deal with
shots.
Jokic in the paint, basically.
There you go. And
Yeah.
that's what you got to think about when you playing these Timberwolves and you playing
Who knows what
Jokic.
if the Lakers go on a run here, you have to deal
Exactly.
with
You
Anthony
got to deal with
Davis and
Anthony Davis. Yeah. So,
even Doma Sabonis. Like that guy, he
mhm.
works people in the paint. He's
Oh,
physical.
no, he's physical and he's good.
Very
So
good.
yes. So you're going to have somebody like that. And I feel like Derek Favors, to me, out of any of it, even with Kevin Love, you're still not going to get that presence. Kevin
Right.
Love is not no defensive stopper. He's a stretch forward that can play the game and can rebound,
Yeah.
but he's not about to be blocking shots and doing
Right.
all of
You
that.
could play Kevin Love with JaVale. You could put both
You
of them out
can
there.
play him with you can play him with JaVale for sure.
Right.
You
But we
know,
have C Wood, like you said. Like he just
right. So bringing in Kevin Love is like there wouldn't be, I don't know, because you got Christian Woods who does that already. So
yeah.
you can't really bring. I don't see that being a fit. I like Kevin Love, but I don't see that being a fit for what they really need. So
What
honestly, the only person I know out there is Derek Favors
yeah.
or Hassan Whiteside.
Whiteside. Okay.
Whiteside's still out there too. He's definitely a real protector.
Yeah. He certainly is.
Definitely a real protector.
Not a great free throw shooter, but what does that matter?
No, ain't too many of those bigs out there that can do that other
No,
than
that's
Jokic
true.
and Joel Embiid and them.
Yeah, yeah. What so 60 games through the season, so
Mm-hmm.
22 left. First off, is that not ludicrous that like they had to play 60 games before they get a break? Like why is that not coming at the 50 game mark?
That's how it used to be. You come back, you got about 40, 41 games, 40 some games left, or 30, high 30s, should I say.
Yeah,
You
people are still
somewhere, you
acting
somewhere
like it's a
around there.
mid-season break. Like it's absolutely not.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Things are a whole lot different now, should I say.
Sure.
So, these
So what do they got to
guys,
do with these last 22 games? Like what record-wise, like what do you think they need to be at? What would you expect from this team?
out of these 22 games, they can't lose no more than 10 games.
Okay.
They can't. They can't. If they do that, they might find themselves definitely in the playing games,
For
and
sure.
maybe on the wrong side of the playing game.
Yeah.
It might be
Yeah.
too far down. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fight, you gotta fight extra games before you even play into that first round. So, you don't want to be doing that. So,
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
15-7 or something. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, it would be real nice, and it's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable. Especially with the type team they got, but they still missing that one piece. Hopefully they can figure something out over this break and get somebody in there, and who knows, what can happen during this time. But they definitely need some more defense.
Yeah. Much needed rest. Got a lot of guys banged up. Timmy missed the last 2 games. Maxi hurt, obviously. Luka's been in and out. Kyrie missed that last game. So hopefully everybody comes back refreshed, ready to go. We get that 15-7 record in the last 22 games. Raymond, before we leave, just a quick thing for you, man. What's up with the Tar Heels?
Ooh, man, my Tar Heels, man, my Tar Heels. They're struggling, they're inconsistent,
Yeah.
and I think you know, a lot to do with it is just them being tougher. They need
Yeah.
to be tougher. I wish I was closer because I probably went down there in that locker room and raised hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I'd have went off on them real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just letting them understand the culture that was built way before I came, and then the culture that we continued when I was there of just grinding. Like it wasn't perfect for us either. Like our first season, we made the NIT. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So we grinded. We grinded. We went through some stuff to get to that point as juniors to win it. Then my sophomore year, we lost to Texas, the Longhorns, when they had Royal Ivy,
Yeah.
PJ Tucker, Mouton, and they had a good team.
PJ
You know what
still in
I'm
the
saying?
league, dude. That's
Right.
wild.
I know that's crazy, right? So just the just the just the things that we went through, like we was battle tested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like last year they went through some stuff last year, and I felt like they was battle tested, but they didn't capitalize on that. They didn't take that into the summer of grinding and feeling that pain of getting there
Yeah.
and not winning and wanting to get back. Like I don't know, like just
Yeah, but
I
they were
think
an, you know, they like you think about it, they were an underdog last year. Like they came in as an
exactly
8 seed. Like
right.
I like them a lot because I saw a lot of talent in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a numerous brackets, I had them going deep, and they got there. But like they weren't necessarily supposed to be there. So I think
Mm-hmm.
like that sometimes I can imagine it being, oh, we look at us, like we're good. We're good. Like,
Yeah, they
okay,
just
we
so
lost
they so
Brady
up
Manic,
and
but no big
down.
deal. Like we'll be back.
Right. But that it don't necessarily work that way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's just one of those things where if you get there, you want to finish it.
Yeah.
You want to finish, and I think that's the hard part about it. Getting there and then getting there is then finishing it off too. You
Right.
know. But they just got to be tougher.
Yeah.
That's all I can really put on it. They got to be tougher. You know what I'm saying? They got to be tougher, and I think everything else will take care of itself because the talent is there. The coaching is there.
Mm.
They just got to be tougher. I don't think there's
Yeah.
nothing else Hubert can do as a coach to to help those guys. They got to have some type of grit about themselves. And until they do that, they're gonna keep playing up and down. Because one minute you be like, "Ooh, and that's the Carolina team I remember from last year. That's the team.
Right.
That's the team I like." And then you see them play the next two games, and it's like, "Who is this team?" So that's
Yeah.
why sometimes it'd be hard for me to look at because it's like being a diehard Carolina guy to the day I die. Like it's hard to see sometimes the effort that they put into it. They don't put the right type of effort. And I know some of the older guys that's older than me and some of the guys who play with me, like just looking at the same thing, like, man, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like what are y'all young boys doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. If I was still living in Charlotte, I probably definitely don't been no drove down there.
Yeah. I think definitely. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. And I have been on had a conversation. And I'm real close. I was talking to my boy Marvin Williams. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. He was like, "Man, I think I'm gonna take a drive down there." That's what Marvin was saying. I was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about doing a Zoom call
Right.
with the whole team and just like letting them have it,
It's
lighten
too
them
bad
up."
Marvin's not playing in the league anymore. He'd be a great pickup for the Mavs.
Ooh,
Guy, a wing who can
yes,
shoot. He's
yeah.
got some good size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was great. He was great, man. Raymond, appreciate you joining the show, man. Excited to talk more hoops with you. Um, one last thing, because I gotta feel this out a little bit. But LeBron, all-time points leader, is he
Right.
the GOAT?
He's the GOAT for this era.
Okay.
He's the GOAT for this era for
Is he
sure.
your? He's not your GOAT though.
My GOAT, I can't call him my GOAT. MJ's my GOAT.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because like I grew up watching MJ. I
Right.
grew up playing against LeBron.
Right.
So, it's kind of hard to call him my GOAT when we played against each other. We the same age.
Yeah.
So, my GOAT is MJ. His GOAT is MJ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to the kids now, LeBron is the GOAT. It's
But
kind of
you're
hard.
but you're a believer in the like it's one or the other. Because I know a lot of guys that played. Like, look, man, a lot of guys that I've talked to say Kobe,
Mhm.
and I
So
gotta
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I
That's
gotta
what I'm
respect
saying.
that
So
answer.
so
Yeah.
like that, and I tell people that I have so many debates about this. Like I said, a lot of y'all keep talking about LeBron, MJ. Y'all forgetting about Kobe.
Right.
Like a lot of people think Kobe is the GOAT. I've talked to a lot of kids now that I coach at AAU, and they like, man, Kobe the GOAT. Like I know LeBron got the scoring champ, but they like Kobe the GOAT. What can I say to that? You
Right.
know,
I mean,
and
when
these
I
are
went,
these are younger kids. Like these are kids that
yeah,
you would think that you know they ain't grew up with me, so they like okay, these they grew up watching Kobe and they grew up watching LeBron. and they
Yeah.
feel like Kobe is their GOAT.
I mean,
And I
I
feel
went
like
in I went in the backyard. I was trying to be Kobe. You know,
exactly.
Dirk was my favorite player. I grew up in
Hmm.
Dallas, like, but I wasn't mimicking him. I wasn't doing. I was doing a like left short corner over the shoulder fade away to the to the left to the falling to the right side. Like I wanted to be Kobe Bryant,
Yeah, and that's every
and
kid.
he played on a team I hated growing
Right,
up.
right.
I hated the Lakers.
And that's what's funny. So
Yeah,
you know, uh, I think iconic guys like those three.
yeah,
I mean, everybody's going to have who their number one GOAT is, but to me, all three of them are GOATs,
for
and it
sure.
is what it is. No, and then LeBron is the GOAT of this era. All these kids that's coming up now, that's in that 4 years old to about 15, 16 years old. That's all LeBron. And
Right.
some of those
Steph,
Kobe,
maybe Steph too.
some of those Kobe. Well, they definitely a lot of Steph fans.
Yeah,
You can throw him in there, but just to put the GOAT part of it, you can't put him up there with them guys. You
right.
can't put him up there with Kobe, Kobe and all of them. But yeah, LeBron is a GOAT, Kobe's a GOAT, MJ's a GOAT, and MJ is my GOAT because I never played against him. He was a guy that I watched growing up as a kid. A guy that, when you go outside, like you say, when you go outside, you imitating somebody.
Right.
That's what I was imitating.
Well, the UNC connection too. Like,
Yeah, that too. But like just not even with that. Like before I even met him,
right,
anything like he was just the guy that I would go outside and I would imitate. Like I wanted to be like my dad. But if I had to pick somebody to who I wanted to be like that was playing in the NBA, I mean, Michael Jordan was everybody. When
right,
Come Fly With Me, that movie, that tape came out, that was like gold. That was gold. So, like for me as a kid and for me, MJ is my GOAT, but is Kobe a GOAT? Yes.
yeah,
Is LeBron a GOAT? Yes. That's
yeah.
how I would answer that question. And I
There you
know
go.
some people are like, well, you only got to pick one. No, I ain't got to pick one. I
I mean,
know
you can
who
do whatever
mine is.
you can do
I
whatever
know
you
who
want.
mine exactly. I know who mine is, but then also I know these other two guys, they are the GOAT too. So
Yeah,
that's how I would answer that question.
there you go. There you go. I love the thing about your dad. That's awesome, man. That's really
I
cool.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Um, all right, everybody. All-Star break. Go get your rest, your relaxation. Get down to Mexico. And we'll be back next week. Mavs play the Spurs next Thursday, but obviously watch the All-Star game. Luka's going to be in there. Kyrie's going to be playing as well. That'll be a lot of fun. Mac McClung's going to win the dunk contest for anyone that's going to watch that.
I'm telling you,
I
that kid
probably
gonna
won't.
get
I
up.
probably won't watch it, but yeah, Raymond, thanks for joining, man, and we'll see everybody next time on Believe in Mavs.
You know it.